What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt. And as I come on to the taping of the podcast here tonight, my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the third period, but we just got burned here because Colorado was up 2-0. It looked like we were coasting here to get a win over Calgary, and that was going to make up for what had happened with the Santander going 0 for 4. And the Boston Celtics shot 62 threes. They only hit 21 of them. The game went under because Memphis did nothing offensively. Boston's defense flexed. Celtics have now won 9 straight games. They went 6-0 on the road trip. That's the first time in the history of the Boston Celtics. They've been playing basketball for quite a long time. That's their first ever 6-0 road trip ever, all time. That's incredible. They win the game easily over Memphis. Game falls 220. Doesn't come close to the total of 234. The steam came in big time. That game closed at 236.5. No numbers come in. The books cleaned up with Boston and Memphis. Everyone betting the over like me. Nope. Game goes under. 234.5 was never in jeopardy. So it looks like it's going to be an 0-3 night. So not what I wanted on a Monday, not the way I wanted to start of the week by any means. But, look, we begin a new month today. It is April the 1st. I don't do April Fools, okay? I don't participate in this. I think it's the worst day for the sports world because people write fake stories and it absolutely stinks. So be careful before you retweet anything today because it's a stupid holiday and it's a dumb thing that people do. And I'm just not a very big fan of April Fools at all. So just FYI, and we're not doing an April Fool's parlay. We're not doing anything, but I do have 3 bets for us going for today. But before we try to get back onto the winning side of things, let's get into the winning. This is not a joke. This is real. The Gary Payton jersey will be awarded to WV Punch Drunk 1. Congratulations. You have been selected to win the Gary Payton autographed jersey signed by Gary Payton, throwback Seattle Supersonics jersey. To claim your prize, you must email mailbag@fantasypros.com. You need proof of your subscription to the BettingPros YouTube channel and give them your mailing address. And WV Punch Drunk, you will get in the mail an autographed Gary Payton jersey with the Seattle Supersonics that you can do whatever you want with it, sign it, whatever. It'll come with a little ticket of authenticity so you know it's real. Thanks to our friends at Pristine Auction. And thank you to everybody else for being a part of that giveaway. That was very cool. The Allen Iverson jersey was very popular. The Gary Payton jersey is very popular. We'll do more of those as we roll here with the Daily Juice podcast. Okay, I've already given you the UC Irvine bet, which I gave it out, unfortunately, over the weekend, and I thought the game was getting played on Sunday. No, it's being played here today. The number is 1.5. I still like Irvine in the first game of the NIT Final Four at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Irvine's been very good against the number this year. I know North Texas has kind of been the darling of people, but they lost their coach. And so there's some questions there. UC Irvine is a team that has some veterans. They're 31-6 on the year. Their losses have come to Oregon State, Duquesne, UC Riverside in overtime, UC San Diego twice, and CSUN, California Sunny. I don't know what that stands for, CSUN, but they lost to them at home. But, earlier in the year, they won a couple of games. They won a tournament against Kennesaw State, Kent State, and Townsend. They won a neutral tournament earlier in the year. 31-6 is 31-6. This is a 1-point win for UC Irvine, and they're catching 1.5 points to North Texas. And I know North Texas has played well this year, and they just beat Oklahoma State in this tournament. They beat Arkansas State in this tournament, but 2-point wins either or. I think the luck runs out here for North Texas from the Mean Green. And I took the 1.5 points with UC Irvine for the Anteaters at plus 1.5. That number is still available, so you are capable of jumping in on the plus 1.5 if you would like. Now, let's talk about the Crown. This is a wild tournament here in Las Vegas. Now, there's been some interesting controversy about about the betting on this tournament, okay? Make sure your bet is going to be validated and make sure your bet is going to be counted, okay? There's been some conversations about players in, players out, voiding. This is a different type of tournament, okay? The first 4 games were last night. Butler won. Boise blew out George Washington. Nebraska beat Arizona State, and Georgetown and Washington State got played. That game is underway at the moment. But Georgetown had 2 starters scratched right before the game. So, I mean, we're in the Mickey Mouse period. We're in the transfer portal crazy coach period, okay? So just heads up on this. But I have a play on Colorado and Villanova. The number is either 3.5 or 3. Go find 3 here, or you can buy it down if you want. I don't want to lay more than a possession, but Villanova is going to have the best player on the court. Now, for some reason, if we don't see look, I don't think this will happen, but if by some crazy way Dixon's not on the court for Villanova, you got to get out of the bet. This bet is being made basically for Eric Dixon, okay? 23 points per game, arguably the best player in the Big East, played for a horrible coach in Kyle Neptune who got fired, and now he's out. New coaching staff coming in. Kevin Willard takes over next year. But this bet against Colorado, this is pretty much a bet against Colorado and on Eric Dixon for Villanova, who needs to be the best player on the court. If he's the best player on the court, Villanova wins. Period. Okay? Nova lost to Connecticut in the Big East tournament. They last played on the 13th of March. That was a long time ago, okay? It's the 1st of April. They lost 2 of their last 3 games, but there were some games this year. Look, they beat UConn this year. They beat St. John's this year. They beat Marquette this year. They beat Providence this year. I mean, Nova's had some decent wins. They were 19-14, but really they had more talent than that and led really by Eric Dixon. So I'm going to lay the 3 points with Villanova here. I think they get it done. They win their opening game of the Crown. I mean, most people like Villanova to make a run here in the Crown. Total's 144, up from 137.5. But the number is either 3.5 or 3. I got 3. Take 3. Okay, if you can get 3, jump in on 3 for this game. But there are 4 games tonight, and there are 2 games in the NIT. Terrell Furman and I will be on live at 5:30 Eastern for our normal live stream. Now, we will talk about the 2 Final Four games, obviously, with Auburn in Florida and Duke in Houston. We'll give our first initial thoughts on that, but we also, at least I will also give you further thoughts on games that will be played tonight, mostly the late game between Tulane and USC, late game between Chattanooga and Loyola Chicago. I've already told you what I think about UC Irvine, okay? So we'll break down some of those games going on as well in the Crown and the NIT, plus preview the Final Four tonight on the BettingPros YouTube channel at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific with myself and Terrell Furman coming up for that. So just FYI, heads up, that's what's coming at you coming up for Tuesday. So Villanova -3 and UC Irvine at +1.5 are the first 2 college basketball bets for the night. There'll be a couple of others that I'm going to throw at you guys coming up on the live stream at 5:30 Eastern on the Betting Pros YouTube channel. Now, one hockey play. Got burned by Colorado. That game's now to overtime. Looks like it's going to a shootout between, I can't believe, how do they give up 2 second period goals? That's just completely and totally disgusting from a Colorado standpoint. Completely not expected. They scored 2 goals in 1 minute. That's just unbelievable. Oh, hold on. Is that what happened? No. They scored, 2 goals in 1 minute. That's, they're up 2-0. We're into the final 10 minutes of the third period, and they scored 2 goals in 1 minute. And we're going to have an 0-3 day because of it. Just awful. That doesn't mean I'm not going back to the same bet. The Washington Capitals are 23-9-3 on the road. The Boston Bruins are cooked. Done. Bruins are absolutely awful. The Boston Bruins last won a hockey game all the way back on the 11th of March. They've lost every single game since. 6-3, 6-2, 3-2, 5-1, 5-1, 7-2, 6-2, 2-1. Only one of those games went to overtime. That was against the Buffalo Sabres. Every other game has been lost in regulation. Washington, on the flip side, Alexander Ovechkin is 5 goals away from tying Wayne Gretzky, his record for the number of goals in a career. Washington has a lot to play for, and they've lost 3 games in a row. They did not play last night. Neither team's on a back-to-back. Washington needs it, and the perfect remedy is the tanking Boston Bruins, who do not want to be a part of this. It's only minus 125 in regulation. We're going to jump on the Washington Capitals, who are 1-1 against the Bruins this year, but minus 125 for the Boston Bruins. For the Washington Capitals in regulation. Now, we lost the bet last night, so you want to lay the 215, go right ahead, or find a dance partner to team up this so you get overtime, or shootouts. But I'm just going to bet it in regulation. I don't think Boston keeps the game close at all. Washington for 1.25 units on the money line. All right, so plays for today. UC Irvine plus 1.5 at minus 110. Villanova minus 3 in the Crown tournament. UC Irvine in the NIT. Nova minus 3 in the Crown tournament. Both those bets for 1.1 units, and the Capitals in regulation in the NHL at minus 125 for 1.25 units. Let's see if we can get back and win back what we just lost last night on a Monday. Remember the live stream with Terrell Furman and myself at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific on the BettingPros YouTube channel. There'll be 1 or 2 more college basketball plays coming at you here for tonight. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every single morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.